Funding for Lucky Chow has been provided by
In America, it seems like you can be a locavore just about anywhere these days. We take for granted how accessible farm-to-table dining has become.
This is a Chinese broccoli, and this is almost like a broccoli rabe, but much sweeter. So you're welcome to take a bite of that.
In other parts of the world, locally sourcing a delicious and healthy diversity of food isn't always so easy. But China, with its vast culinary heritage, is one country that's catching up to the trend. I visited chefs and farmers on both sides of the Pacific to see how locavore principles are being translated. To learn more about how the locavore movement has taken root in China, there was one person I knew I had to see, Dai Jingjun, creator and owner of Dragon's Well Manor in Hangzhou. Dai's restaurant only serves food that was grown organically within a few hours' drive of the restaurant. Bringing local to an even deeper level, Dai serves dishes that aren't typically seen in restaurants, real home-cooked specialties based on local ingredients. Dai is spearheading the farm-to-table movement in China, bringing what he learned from his travels in Europe back to his home country.
其实像龙井草堂从2000年开始构建到现在，我们主要的工作是在就是广阔的农村，在青山绿水之间，在一些生态比较好的地方寻找这样的食材。因为我自己有一个理解，叫美食之美美在食材。我们现在城市城市化进程的过程当中，我们正在远离着我们的食物，而我们的食物渐渐变成为一种工业化的产物，这是很可悲的。
As China becomes more urban and there's less farming, how are you keeping that tradition alive here?
就是说，从不在菜市场、在 market 里面去买食物，而是要到农民这里。那么，然后你光是路程就很远，更何况你这样去买的食物的价格。所以我有点，大家都说你有点舍近求远，本末倒置说我。但是我觉得他们才是真正的本末倒置。就是你说做美食，如果在一种大批量的里面，然后你透过各种添加、各种修饰。去达到的那种所谓的美，就是把食物的最本真的东西给忘了。
Every ingredient served at Dragon's Well Manor, from cabbage to eel, is purchased directly from a shrinking pool of local farmers. One of Dai's missions is to fight against the total industrialization of Chinese agriculture, the abandonment of the small farming culture, which is greatly affecting the quality of food urban Chinese are consuming. He's done this by forging personal relationships with the more than 15,000 farmers he's worked with since his restaurant opened. And once he buys their products, the process doesn't end there. He keeps meticulous records of everything that comes to the restaurant. Yeah, this is a document of everything that we're eating today, from the vegetables to the lotus roots to the fish, the eels.
是你只要吃到所有东西，它都有这样的采购日记。你看，我们每天就是在采购的过程当中，然后我们采购员都会用这样的手机就记录整个。
The radishes that we're eating today, the vegetables, the amaranth that we're eating today.
就是这个呢，我们所有每天就是每一个采购员他都会有那个，就是他会拍呢，这个是哪一条船怎么出去，然后呢这个鱼。
From the exact boat to the provenance of every dish, from fish to duck to eggs.
然后呢，就是我每天只要透过这个就能够明白那个，就是每天采购员大概到哪个位置了， 所以像采购日记这样的那个，就是在制作的过程当中，他就会呢，再煎鸡蛋。
How did you develop these relationships with the farmers?
所以让我坚定了，我觉得就是如果透过就是跟农民的这样的合作交流，把真正的味道去展示，而并不是加以任何修饰的、过度包装的。因为我们和农民之间现在已经不再是买卖的关系，而是亲人的关系，是保障我们原材料品质。
With the seismic shift of China's population to its cities, naturally raised produce and livestock are becoming increasingly hard to find. Adai's influence on farmers is as important as his influence in the kitchen. He holds them to a higher standard that's in danger of disappearing.
所以我们在就是寻找食物的过程当中，比如说蔬菜类，我们不需要农药和化肥，我们像那个禽类、蛋类，我们不要合成饲料，就是自然之美。才是能够体现到食物之美上。所以我们在和农户的交流的过程当中，这些年来之后，就是农户也慢慢的就是更多的接受我们这样的做法。
After hearing Adai describe his culinary inspirations and his devotion to ingredients, I had to try some of this clean, local, and truly organic food for myself.
这是鸭掌，就是脱骨的鸭掌。对，你可以试试 maybe try。它里面其实你进去之后有一点点酒的味道，有一点点咸的味道，然后在咬的过程当中，就这种脆爽感。而中国人他不仅仅是说是一种饱腹感，它更是讲的是一种口感。那这是钱塘江的刀鱼，通过油炸了之后呢，就更用台湾的说法叫更 Q 弹。对 ，QQ， 就是更有一种嚼劲，就是像这样的劲道它并不是对养殖的鱼对那个的就是没有这样的劲道。然后像这个牛肉一样，就像这样的牛肉我们和不是那个西方的讲嫩，而这样的呢是黄牛肉，因为黄牛它第一个使命是先要耕田，那当它老了之后，它又给人们提供的一种食物。这个牛肉呢，所以就不会跟西方的那个就是牛肉那样要7成熟几成熟，所以我们这个呢只能是就是全熟的，因为它是老牛肉，所以呢它的整个口感就是在越嚼到最后把牛肉的香嚼出来。我们只是追求食物最本身的味道。
You know, how do you share this wisdom with the next generation?
其实食物是说实话，中国人最要紧的就是什么？就是弄口吃的。是吧？我们活着，其实我们希望像这样的这种传统的这种就是耕作的方法就生物各种各样的多样性，土地的热爱，扩大意义上来说，只有对农户、农民的这样的热爱，你才有可能就给我们一些口吃的嘛。
One way to demonstrate the value of clean and local food is to bring people back to the farms where it's grown. Sun Commune in Western Hanzhou seeks to bring urbanized Chinese back to the land to teach them about rural life and show them what sustainable farming is all about.
太阳公社呢，我们认为它是一个生态艺术村落，而且是具有国际性的生态艺术村落。我们也是朝着这方向去做，因为我们目前在做有机的种植、养殖，然后也在做大自然相关的一些自然教育。我们太阳公社聚集了中国的一部分具有乡间情结的一些人，具有农村情怀的一些人。然后我们是想重建中国乡村，把中国乡村进行重建，因为现在中国的乡村面临着很大的问题。空心化，年轻人都已经离开了他生长的乡村，然后到城市里面去了。然后逐渐，中国的土地这么多，如果说全部这些村庄在逐渐的消失到一定程度以后，那很大也可能就是无人区。那无人区过后，那这些土地也就没人耕种，那我们的食物供给就会出现问题。
Sun Commune encompasses the beautiful Taiyang Valley, including all of the farms in the area. Not only is the produce grown organically, but the pigs listen to classical music and get daily playtime. The commune is not only a place to grow and consume these things, but also to learn about them.
像我们这边呢，家中应该叫客人吧，客人来到我们这里的话，他可以去参观我们的有机农业生产的过程，也可以参与进去。然后呢，也可以参与我们一些自然教育的一些课程，从而让孩子们、让家长能够更好的了解自然，然后呢，进而去保护自然，能够实现可持续的生活，能够影响他们，给他们带来一种可持续的生活方式，从而达到影响更多的人能够改变生活方式，来保护我们的环境，保护我们的自然，达到我们保护我们的地球。
Over the last 50 years, the number of Chinese who have moved away from rural areas and gotten into cities is greater than the population of the entire United States. Zhang says it's gotten to a point where children in cities don't even know where their food comes from. Like so many city kids in the West, they don't have an education about nature and farming. They just know food is something they get at the supermarket.
还有我们在这里不仅仅我们在这里种植有机蔬菜。 然后种植水稻，养鸡、养猪、养鸭子、养羊。因为目前中国城市里面的人，我想国外应该也有这种情况。城市里面的人呢，对，然后他们并没有他所享用的这种食物的生长过程，他没有参与过，他不了解，从而他对他就不会尊重。而且现在工业社会的发展，然后生活节奏的加快。 首先，一个会带来环境的污染。现在环境污染是一个全球性的问题，全世界的环境都在被工业污染，一个事情。所以说，我们现在在做这样一个事情，在引导农业来做有机农业，来保护环境，能够引导城市里面的人的那种生活方式，让他认识到食物，首先是认识到食物的来源、食物的生长过程，然后他从而会尊重食物，然后呢，他也会知道要享用好的食物、健康的食物，必须要保护环境。所以说，我们现在做的这个是很重要的一个事情。
Just a few hours outside of New York City, a Chinese-American family has been supplying high-quality Asian produce to the eastern United States for more than 60 years. Sang Lee Farms is now in the forefront of a new era of organic, community-based agriculture, with a CSA program, a farm stand, a home delivery service, and educational workshops in cooking and plant medicine. But its local roots are deep.
Sang Lee Farms was started somewhere in the early 40s. My Uncle John had the idea, well, there's a market in Chinatown and they're looking for more vegetables and fresh greens. And then my father joined him and my other uncle joined him. And then they started farming and growing Chinese cabbage for primarily the New York City Chinatown market.
And are you still growing those Chinese vegetables?
A few, probably about a dozen varieties of Chinese vegetables now, in addition to perhaps 100 other different varieties of vegetables.
And so you grew up on a farm.
So growing up in the summertime, we worked pulling weeds, harvesting vegetables. Every aspect of farm work I learned from really young age.
I've never been on a farm where there is so much variety. So the baby bok choy, I also see it on your shirt. Is that sort of your signature vegetable?
That was our primary crop for many decades. We were one of the largest bok choy growers on the East Coast.
Are those ready to be harvested?
They're a little bit young, but they can be harvested for ultra baby bok choy size. And we can cut one if you'd like.
What does it mean for you to keep this tradition growing?
It's kind of cool. It has been very rewarding. And it's nice to see the younger generation interested in keeping the farm alive. My son, William, wants to continue farming, and that's nice.
So since you're growing based on what people are eating today, do you see more of a demand for Asian vegetables?
I think there is more interest in Asian vegetables. People are more informed with different varieties. A lot of restaurants are trying different vegetables.
That's great because there's a lot more to vegetables than broccoli and carrots, right?
Sure, yeah.
Fred first met his wife Karen while they were both in grad school. Karen had never dreamed of life on a farm, but she took to it with gusto. Years later, they've built a booming business on the farm his uncle started, including a farm kitchen that sells dressings, dips, and soups, all from recipes she developed. Hi.
Nice to meet you.
So nice to meet you. I know you guys do so much more than just grow amazing vegetables.
Our original mission statement was to provide food for the community. But that has sort of expanded to help people reach their higher level of health, whatever that might be. And providing the food is just one component. The secondary parts of it require educating, teaching in whatever way that requires. This is a Chinese broccoli. So this is the bud, it turns to little white flowers, and this is almost like a broccoli rabe, but much sweeter. So you're welcome to take a bite of that. It's like a sweet broccoli.
It's so delicious.
Right.
I think it's wonderful that Asian vegetables like bok choy have entered into just the mainstream culinary palette. And do you see other varieties like the do miao, the pea sprouts?
The Korean radish
Oh.
is just become so popular. I cannot keep it on the shelf.
Oh, really?
People love it.
What kinds of educational programs do you offer?
So we have introductory herb classes. We have our herb intensive, which is a 7-week herb class.
Oh,
we
really?
offer hands-on cooking classes where they're a little bit different because we actually take people out to the field to see the vegetables, pick the vegetables, and then we come back and we talk about the vegetables before we cook them.
Well, I see that you sell a lot of ready-to-go products.
I do.
Are they all your own recipes
Yes.
you developed?
Yes. I have no idea how I come up with these ideas because I have no culinary background. I just have a good palate and I'm very inspired by what I grow.
Sure,
That's
of
really
course,
what it
when you're
is.
surrounded by all of this. So this is your store.
This is my store. You can see we have beautiful scallions. We do red and green.
Right.
This baby bok choy is now something all of my customers know. It's just
Yeah, I think
their go-to.
everybody's culinary palette has sort of
Yes.
expanded.
Yes. Interesting. I'm seeing that. The gailan that I showed you in the greenhouse, I could not really get people to buy it. I sold every ounce of Chinese broccoli this year out of my greenhouse.
Amazing.
No problem.
Well, what do you have set up here?
I have a little cooking demonstration for you with the Shanghai, the baby bok choy.
Okay.
So I'm going to add a little oil. Pair the ginger with the garlic. Onions, the baby bok choy, cut up here, leaves and stems. Carrots in little slivers. This is what I'm using. It's my stir-fry sauce.
Oh, okay.
It's garlic and ginger, soy sauce and sesame oil. That's it.
And you make everything here?
I make everything here. And then you can garnish with a little bit of cilantro.
That looks and smells beautiful.
There you go. Tell me what you think.
It's so good. Well, thank you for
You're
showing this
welcome.
to me.
You're very welcome. Thank you.
I may not work as many acres as Sang Lee, but I have my own farm on the roof of my New York City apartment. And I can vouch that food really does taste better when you know where it came from. Da Dong has become China's most famous chef because of his upscale version of Peking duck, a staple of American Chinatowns. Now he's brought a signature dish to the United States with a New York outpost of his namesake restaurant chain. While the tableside carving experience at Da Dong may be nudging duck into the culinary mainstream, more than half the ducks sold in America still go to Asian restaurants and markets. To see where those ducks are coming from, I went to Pennsylvania to visit one of the country's biggest suppliers of fresh ducks. Well, it's exciting to be here.
Yes, thank you for visiting our
Actually.
farm here.
Yeah.
Kind of the history of our farm was my great-grandfather was one of the original Long Island duck farmers in the early 1900s on it. And Long Island used to be the duck farming capital of the United States. That's where all the ducks came from there. And my dad is a veterinarian, so he graduated from Cornell, and after he graduated, he's like, I want to be my own boss, I want to start my own company. And he's like, the only thing I know is ducks. So he came and started a duck farm with my grandfather, my grandmother, and my mother here in Pennsylvania.
I love how your father just sort of fell into this business because he saw a void in the market that needed to be filled.
Literally, it was him walking down all of Chinatown, just knocking on barbecue shops, and this guy doesn't speak English and he doesn't speak Chinese, and so somehow it worked on it, and eventually his end product, the duck, it spoke for us. Danielle, this is James, our hatchery manager.
Hey,
He's
how are
the
you?
number
Nice
one
to
duck
meet
guy
you.
in the U.S. So.
Thank you there, Joey. What we're doing here, the truck goes out to the farm 7 days a week, and we're bringing the eggs from the farm, so we bring them into the hatchery so we can prepare them and sort them and get them ready to hatch. They'll lay about 30,000 eggs a day. So we'll bring in and sort 30,000 eggs every day, 7 days a week.
And the cool part, everyone is picked up by him every day.
Really?
Every egg is picked by hand.
Let me help you.
Yes. There, we can put them right down right here.
So when I'm in Chinatown and I walk down the street, what percentage of the ducks hanging are
I'd say
from this farm?
almost all of them. It's really neat to walk down Chinatown and just visit the different barbecue shops and see everything. And you know, it's something that we created.
I walk by those duck houses every day, but I never thought that James was responsible for hatching all of them.
They all started with him.
That's good to know when you see them hanging in the window that
I'll
that
think of
started.
you.
There's a lot of work that goes on to get the bird to that point.
Let's go see the ducks.
Yeah, let's go to the hatchery.
So we're at week 4 now.
We are in luck. As we see, we have one starting to come out. See him in here?
Wow.
Will? I cannot help him out at this point. He will hatch out over the next 12 hours.
But look at these ducklings here. They're literally hours old.
Hours old.
Incredible. Wow.
The baby duckling would have literally hatched
Incredible.
hours ago. You can see his head is still a little damp.
Yes. Look at how much this duckling has learned. I mean, he can stand on his own 2 feet already in just a couple of hours.
So how about next we'll go to up to our breeder barns and see kind of where these eggs came from.
Yes.
Danielle, so welcome to our duck breeding house. So all these ducks are the ones that lay the eggs that eventually go down to the hatchery. So we have Dr. Zach here.
Hi, Dr.
Zach. He's our in-house geneticist.
This is fascinating. How did you choose these ducks to be the breeders? I guess.
So we select for several traits: efficiency in growing and the rate that they grow. So in their total lifespan, they lay about 200 eggs.
And then where do they go?
They're sold as a mature duck.
So that's actually really popular with the Chinese market as well, for soups, right?
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah, no, that's from a lot of our cut-up birds. After you cut the breast and the legs off, the carcass on it is used for a lot of stocks.
So do you have a lot of chefs or restaurants that you work with who come to check out the farm?
Yes, yeah, we have a lot.
Yeah?
There's always a lot of curious chefs on it, and it's
Really?
so much fun to bring them to the farm and really show them what they do. And I think, and also, I mean, what an awesome chef too that is curious enough to come see where their products are. Okay, Danielle, so right here is our, these are our duck nest boxes. So each duck will come sometime during the day, mostly at nighttime on it, and lay their eggs.
And so when you pick eggs up, you want the big end up and the little end down.
Okay, the big end up, little end down. Yes.
They like to hide them, so you actually have to dig down
Really?
to see if you can find them all.
Oh.
How was your duck egg experience?
That was a lot more fun than any Easter egg hunt I've been on.
The business must be doing so well to have survived through all these generations.
Oh, definitely, yeah, no. And I mean, a huge, probably 80% of our business right now is to the Asian markets, and specifically Chinatowns in the Northeast United States. As they grow, we grow. So they just keep bringing in their different cuisines, culinary tastes, and that we're able to offer them and cater them, be like the tastemakers for a authentic Peking duck.
And the majority of your ducks here are used for Peking duck, the dish?
Yes, for Peking duck, the dish. Non-Asian chefs, through the Asian fusion movement, are starting to pick up these new cooking techniques and are able to do that. They kind of got over that fear of, how can I cook a duck, or is it too complicated? Is it gonna take too long? Is it too expensive? Chefs now are rock stars. You watch Food Network on it, even main NBC News, like there's chefs there all the time on it. So it just, with the demand of consumers seeing this, tasting it, they want it. So that really helps, is part of our growth also.
The global fusion market, I love that.
Exactly, yeah.
Anywhere in the world, a farm is a magical place to be. It was truly inspiring to see farms in such different places and cultures, all focused on making agriculture sustainable and back to food in its purest form. It's not just a way of life or a way of eating. It's something we all need to survive.
Funding for Lucky Chow has been provided by To learn more about Lucky Chow, visit luckyrice.com.